Hey everybody, it's me, Cyrus. What's going on? I'm testing my audio real quick.
Hey everybody, it's me, Cyrus.
Seems okay.
What's going on?
Alright, that sounds okay. Hey, late night stream, back again. It's been a little while. Streaming from my PlayStation 5. And today we're going to be checking out some NeoGeo games. It's kind of, this is kind of like Inception, because this is a collection of Metal Slug games called Metal Slug Anthology, and it's got quite a bit in it. This was released on the PlayStation 2, and then it was re-released on the PlayStation 4, but I'm playing it on the PlayStation 5. So I don't know how many layers of conversion that is. It's a few. But I'll tell you, it doesn't seem to affect the gameplay in a negative way. In fact, this actually looks better than it did on the PlayStation 2, because on the PlayStation 2, this collection does not support progressive scan, whereas it does for this. So that's a pretty interesting upgrade. And the emulation is pretty cool, although you don't have a lot of graphical options and stuff like that as far as what you can do. It's set up for none of that weird, like, blurry stuff. It doesn't like do any bilinear interpolation or anything like that for the video for the game, which is pretty cool. Yeah, 2-player, you know, it's Metal Slug. If you've never played Metal Slug, you can adjust the buttons however you want. I could actually break out my PlayStation joystick and play this, which I'm not going to do right now, but I could do that, and I will do that. This is another good thing, is I can set the audio here to be a little lower, which is good for broadcasting. I wish every game would let me do that. Profiles, how about that? You can set the difficulty. We're just going to goof around, so I'm going to keep it on normal, because we're going to do free play. But you could make it sort of like the AES experience if you wanted to, I guess. We'll just keep it on free play, though. So that's pretty cool. Here's your video options. Not a whole lot. This is original, right? Scan lines, which, you know, we're not going to do that because that's not going to look very good on a stream, and I don't really like fake scan lines that much. If you don't like the black on the sides, there's a few options, and it changes more than just that. You can see it actually shrinks the screen down a little, which I think is probably going to negate any scaling artifacts. That seems like that looks like an integer scale right there, so that might be a good idea actually to do that. There's another art option there, which is sort of like an AES background. That's pretty cool. We're gonna actually go with this option here, because I'm curious to see how this is gonna look with integer scaling, because I'm pretty sure that's what's going on there. Yeah, I understand it's a little smaller than that, but I think it might actually be better. I don't know. It's up to you what your preferences are and what you think about it. We'll stick with that one right there. We'll see how it goes. And that's pretty much it for options. You know, you can set it up to autosave and do all that. So, whatever. As far as the game itself, there is a gallery, which we'll look at in just a second, and there are several Metal Slug games available here, including first one, second one, Metal Slug X, which is probably, everybody says this is maybe their favorite Metal Slug. I don't know, a lot of people seem to really like that one. Hey, what's up, Albert? How you doing, man? I'm glad you came on here, Albert. I was told you had some kind of problem with me or something. What is going on? Like, I was told that you were having an issue. What's up? I don't have any issue with you that I know of. Is there something that you have a problem with me about, or did I say something about you somehow, or I'm not sure what's going on. So, yeah, if there's something that you want to ask me about or we need to discuss or resolve, then I'm more than willing to do that. Because I don't know of any problem that I have with you, unless there's something I don't know about. Alright, anyway. Metal Slug 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's it. That's your collection of Metal Slug games. And then, like I said, there is a gallery. Am I any good at games? Hell no, I'm not any good at games. What are you talking about? Have you seen any of my videos? I'm terrible at video games. I love them. You know, I have a lot of fun playing them, but I am not a professional gamer by any stretch of the imagination. Albert says, when I was on your last chat time, you were basically calling me an a-hole. What was I saying about you? And what were you doing that I would say that? Why would I say that? Was there something you were doing? It's not like, if I call somebody an a-hole, I mean, dude, something had to have been going on there. I'm not just out of nowhere going to call somebody an a-hole. You know? I had a discussion with somebody recently. I'm not going to go into who, and I'm not going to call anybody out. But I had a discussion with somebody recently about this sort of thing. About, I think that sometimes, because of the nature of the internet, because of how communication sort of happens on the internet, there's a whole lot of like people assuming things or reading into things, or I don't know. Like, I know that I've had that happen. I've done that. I've assumed somebody had something when saying something when that wasn't really what they were saying, or felt a certain way. I've had people tell me what they think I think. Like, I've had a lot of people try to tell me what they think I believe. And I'm like, dude, I don't know why you think that. So, plus you banned my homie Dean. I talked to Dean about that. We've had private discussions, and I think we've decided to just leave each other alone at this point. So, and it wasn't for no good reason. We've talked about it, and I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to call anybody out for anything. I was actually, it's interesting because in the stream that I had to ban Dean, I was trying to explain in that stream that if people come around and they troll me and I can't figure out what their intentions are, if they seem like they're just messing with me just to try to get a reaction, or there's some weird thing going on where I can't quite figure out if they're being sincere with me or not, and there's something crazy going on, then it's like, dude, I just don't want nothing to do with that. So if I have to ban people, I do. I don't want to. I hate banning people. I go out of my way to not ban people. You know, I hate banning people. It sucks. But, dude, I mean, if somebody comes to your house every day banging on your front door just to see how you'll react or whatever, it's like, come on, dude, what do you want? What do you want? Why are you coming here? You know, I mean, are we cool or are we not cool? Because I'm trying to be cool with everybody that comes around here. You have to really go out of your way for there to be a problem. I don't know. Well, I've talked to Dean. As far as I know, Dean and I do not have a problem with each other, okay? I just don't want a bunch of weird stuff going on, okay? And I don't want to have any problems with you either, Albert. As far as I knew, there was no real problem between you and me. But I was told that there is, and I don't feel that way. And if you feel like I disrespected you in some way, or if you feel like I'm being unfair, I appreciate you telling me that. I don't think that I am being unfair, and I don't think I'm being disrespectful to you. And I don't know what else to say about it. I really don't know what else I can say about it. Okay, I appreciate what you're saying, Albert. I do. But I don't know what else I can tell you. You know, you have your interpretation of what you think's going on and how you deal with that. And I have to have my own interpretation, and I have to make my decisions about that too. I have nothing against Dean. I have nothing against you. I'm not trying to have problems with people. But I'm also trying to just have my channel be about the video games and about talking about this stuff and hanging out and all that kind of stuff. And I know that there's a lot of extracurricular stuff that goes on, you know. And I'm just trying to avoid a lot of that. So if that makes me an asshole, I'm sorry. I really am. So anyway, I don't know what else I can say about it. That's pretty much all I got to say. So anyway, what's up, everybody? Lil buttfuck. Is that right? Am I saying that right? Oh my gosh. Eating Paste, what's up, Eating Paste? How you doing? I don't know what that name is, but yeah, interesting. What's up, guys? And Albert, you're welcome to hang out here. I don't have a problem with you. I'm not trying to have a problem with you. I'm trying to explain myself, and that's all. And, you know, if I told Dean if he wants to hang out and have a good time, that's cool. Just let me know, you know, just let me know what your intent is. But we've decided it's probably best to just kind of go our separate ways. And that's going to happen sometimes. I've been told recently, not everybody is going to get along. And unfortunately, I think that's the case. But it's not because I don't like Dean. It's not that I have a problem with Dean. It's just sometimes we have to, you know, just make decisions about what we think is best for everybody. So anyway, I don't know what else I can say about that. It is what it is. It's not a diss, Albert. Albert, I've seen you on Evil stream plenty of times. I watch Evil streams all the time, by the way. I think you're hilarious. I think you're a really funny guy, and I know you've chit-chatted back and forth with several people that I enjoy hanging out with. Now, let's not talk about other people behind their back. I don't want to do that. We're not trying to start anything. Let's just let that go, okay? So, as far as that goes. But Albert, I'm cool with you. You are free to feel however you want to feel about the situation, and I understand, because nobody likes to see anybody get banned, right? Nobody likes that. You know, and maybe I'm not 100% right about it. Sure, maybe I'm wrong. But we had to make decisions, and I think we came up with something that we can both live with, and that's what we did. So, you know, I don't know what else to say about that. All right. I know. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be... I'm trying to be as fair as I can, I guess, and just address the issue, because I don't want there to be any bad blood or anything. You know, I really don't. I'm sick and tired of all the ridiculous stuff that has gone on the internet, you know, forever. I'm just trying to live the best life we can together. All right. So, which one do we want to check out? There's a whole bunch here. Yeah, Albert, we're cool. Dude, I'm cool with you. That's all I can say. You're free to feel however you feel. I'm not trying to convince you one way or the other. But I'm cool with you. And I'll leave it at that. Okay, so Metal Slug 2, Metal Slug X, is that the best one? I don't know. What do you guys think? 3, 4, 5, and 6. Which one should I play? Plus, we got to check out the gallery a little. I'll do that while you guys let me know what you think about which game to play. So there's an art gallery with... Oh, is it all locked? I have to unlock the art. Oh, that's nice. That'll give you something to look forward to while you're playing. Music. Oh, you get the music, though. They let you play the music. That's cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh. So you get all the music, you get all the soundtracks. That is pretty cool. And then there's an interview. Oh, is this like a written interview? Oh, wow. Well, we're not going through all that. That's interesting, though. I thought it would be a video interview. Okay. It is what it is. Metal Slug 2. Okay. So we've got Metal Slug 2. Yeah, okay, we'll do 2. We'll do Metal Slug 2. Okay. That'll work. All right. Straight into Metal Slug 2. Yeah, I know. A written interview? What the hell? If I wanted to read a written interview, I would not be playing a video game. What? I don't know. There's something there. Anyway. See, look at that. No bilinear interpolation. It's actually the crispy pixels. It's pretty cool. You can't really adjust it, but you don't really need to because they got it right. A lot of times these emulation things, they screw it up, and then they don't get the picture looking how it should. So yeah, that's the reason that I have it a little smaller, is to compensate so that it's actually integer scaled. So you don't have the. If I made it absolutely like stretched for the full screen, I mean not like widescreen, but like stretched to the top and bottom, then it would be a little bit, tiny little bit blurry, I think, on the pixels. But that might be a bot. I don't know. I don't know, eating paste. I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. See, I hate doing that. Even for bots, I don't want to do that. We'll get rid of that. Alright, it's gone. Hopefully I don't get chewed out for that. Alright, anyway, let's play this. Alright, so yeah. Alright, here we go. Okay, who should I be? I'll go with this one. You do get auto fire like set up on this automatically, which is something you can adjust. Like right here. So you got auto fire on or off, and I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it on. Alright, so attack, jump, switch weapon, grenade. Oh, that music is trippy. Yeah, I gotta play this with my arcade stick for sure. Even though it is a PS4, it's actually a PS3 and PS4 arcade stick. It'll also work on a PS5. Ah, you and your camel. All of the bullets, all for you, my friend. Alright. Oh, your sword flew down and impaled my ass. That's... Can I get up there? I don't think so. Or maybe I can get up there on that. No. Crap. Let's try this guy. Let's switch characters. Yeah. Was that a baby? Oh, he came down here. Never mind. I don't have to go up there. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of experience playing all these games. I've played all the way through Metal Slug 1, and I think it was like Metal Slug, I don't know, maybe 5? I can't remember which 2 I've played all the way through, but I never played all the way through this one. He's doing the Hadoken for me. I appreciate that. Ah! Hey, Ryan Landis. The man, the myth, the mystery, the legend returns. Ryan Landis lives. What's up, Ryan? How you doing? How you doing? Oh yeah! Laser Camel. Ah. Gone too soon. We barely knew ye, Laser Camel. Damn it! Ah, continue. Let's try this one. I must kill the red chopper. The red one. Ah, damn it. Ran right into that crap. Man, those graphics are badass. Oh man, Andor, dude. So, I know I have friends who don't like it. Like, Luke is not really a fan of it, you know? We've talked to him about it a little bit. But, good God, what a good show. Like, I think that more people, the people that don't like Andor, I think the reason they don't like it is because they're big Star Wars fans. And it's so different from regular Star Wars. I think if it wasn't called Star Wars, you know, like if I don't know, it's just such a good show. You know, I don't know. I hate that people don't really like it. Yeah, sword straight to the throat. Die! Man, NeoGeo, look at that crap. Like, that is just some amazing graphics. The detail, the colors, the animation, it's fantastic. What a freaking badass platform. Oh, I got a trophy. Boss beaten. Nice. You know, the thing about Andor is there's so much depth. Like the last episode, spoiler alert, if I can say it. The last episode of Andor was not super like eventful. There wasn't like a whole bunch of like stuff that happened and super exciting stuff or whatever. It was a building. You know, Andor seems to be like, it has like this pattern of like build up, and then payoff, and then build up, payoff. You know, which I love that. I think that's freaking great. So this last episode was not super eventful, but there was a ridiculous amount of depth. Like they showed the different, man, I was just like trying to keep track of all the different sets and costumes and cameos and story elements and little details they were throwing in about like what was going on with the characters and what they were setting up for the future. Where am I supposed to go? Up here? Okay. It was just super deep as far as the stuff they packed into that episode. I was very impressed. And they're obviously setting up a really big payoff coming up, you know, very soon on that show. Just like they did with what was it, episode 6 or 5? I can't remember, where they did the big heist. So, oh, my mummy, hello, yeah. just in time for Halloween. The show is an actor's show too. They have to be good. Oh my, the acting. Let me say this, and you might agree with this, or you might not. I think this is the best acting that Star Wars has ever had. I think the acting and the caliber. It's not just the caliber of actor, because there's always been good actors in Star Wars, but they haven't always given the best performance just because it's Star Wars and acting has always been sort of a secondary thing, or maybe not even secondary, depending on which Star Wars you're talking about. But I would say that the performances that I've seen in Andor are the best by far in any Star Wars. It's been really, really impressive. And just the way they tell their story is like they just keep moving. Like the little details they throw you and the dialogue that they choose, and they don't give you a lot of time to fan out on things. They're not concerned with your fanboyism. You know what I mean? Like they throw in your details for you, but they don't let you, they're like, we're not going to sit around and let you figure this out. We're just going to keep telling our story. And you can watch this later. I think it's maybe the first Star Wars that I've seen that has figured out that people watch Star Wars stuff over and over, you know? And they're just like, you can do this later. You'll get back to it later. Ooh, interesting music here. Okay, let me pause for a second. Ryan says, I totally agree. Mon Mothma's performance is incredible. More than just her, but she comes to mind. Yeah, I did not realize that the actress playing Mon Mothma is the same actress that was playing Mon Mothma in the Revenge of the Sith. And I guess I've only seen Revenge of the Sith a couple of times. I watched it in the theater and I watched it one other time, I think. I haven't watched it a whole lot. But I don't remember if those scenes were actually cut from Revenge of the Sith or not, but it's the same actress that played Mon Mothma for that movie. And they brought her back. And I think she's done voice acting too for Mon Mothma. That's crazy. It's so cool. I love that kind of stuff, and that they would think to do that, and that she would be that freaking good. She is so good. Like, it's like, man, she's obviously bringing her A game to this show, but they had to have so much faith in her to put her back in that character because of so much, obviously there's so much screen time for her in this show that if that character wasn't performed well, if it wasn't convincing, this show's not gonna work. Let's just be frank about it. Obviously Mon Mothma is a huge part of this show, and if she doesn't work, the show doesn't work. And I saw that Diego Luna is oh, what's up, Charlie? How you doing, Charlie? What's up, man? I saw that Diego Luna is an executive producer on the show as well. So he has a lot of executive producers are people that are like basically showrunners. They're in charge of setting up the show and stuff like that. So that's really important. That's more than just that's a whole level of control that he has, because he's putting his money up on it. He's helping to finance the production and everything. So I think Diego Luna, I don't know whose decisions are what and everything, but obviously it was really important to him to make sure that this show works as a piece of, I know this sounds pretentious to say this, but as a piece of art, because what they're doing with this show is just on some other level. It really is just on some other level. It's really good. It's the best Star Wars I've ever seen, by far. There's no lightsabers. There's no Force. There's none of the traditional Star Wars stuff that you think of for the fantasy elements of Star Wars. This is more of the sci-fi stuff for Star Wars, and it really works. And I'm doing good, Charlie. I'm good. I'm glad you're doing good too, man. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I appreciate it. Yeah, Diego Luna is badass. And I gotta say, I had hoped that Star Wars would evolve, Like, I understand Star Wars was designed for kids, right? For fucking families. You know what I'm saying? I understand Star Wars is kind of designed for kids, but we've grown up, right? And we're the kids that grew up with Star Wars, and it's nice to see some version of Star Wars that's grown up a little bit with us, that's made for us. Thank you for recognizing that the biggest install base, the fan base of Star Wars, has gotten older. I appreciate that they're trying to cater more towards what a little bit more mature audience would be looking for in that universe, Yeah, we still love our lightsabers, and we still love the Jedi and the Sith and all that kind of stuff. But, there's so much more depth that you could go into with Star Wars. I remember that back in the 90s, when they started to release these Star Wars video games for the PC, like Dark Forces and Shadows of the Empire for N64, Jedi Knight. They started to release some of these games with and for the computer that had a little bit stronger, more mature kind of theme to them, and I really appreciated that. And I remember there was supposed to be a Star Wars game that was going to come out that was sort of in that same vein. I think it was called 1313 or something like that. And it never really came out, never really turned into anything. But I was really looking forward to something that was Star Wars, but was more focused on, the regular kind of hero, not the Jedi hero, like the Kyle Katarn, or however you say his name, or Han Solo type characters, the characters that aren't Jedis, that don't have the Force, because there's just so much more. Dang it, I fell right through that. There's just so much more to Star Wars than the same superhero stuff that we kind of got saturated with, and they kind of overdid with those sequel movies. So anyway, I know I'm kind of ranting about it, but yeah, I'm a real big fan of Andor. I'm really happy to see a Star Wars show that I hope it becomes more popular. I really do. I hope people give it a chance. And I hope those numbers do come up. I guess the numbers that they had initially put out turned out to be pessimistic. It seems like it's gotten a little bit better following than what they originally had thought. So that's good. We just have to keep an eye on that stuff, because I definitely will hope that they keep making, I think they got at least one more season of Andor that they're going to do. I don't want that to get canceled. And I'd like to see more stuff like this for Star Wars. I guess they had announced there's going to be another Star Wars movie that happens after the sequel movies. And I was like, okay, well, it might be good if it's like this kind of storytelling. I don't know. Not real sure. Man, there's so many mummies. I don't think there's supposed to be this many mummies. Isn't it supposed to be kind of a special thing for someone to get mummified and they go into a tomb, and not like they mummified everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of mummies, that's all I'm saying. Less is more. Gun. The bats, always with the bats. Alright, let me check the chat. I'm sorry, I'm falling behind. Ryan says, it's more in line with a Breaking Bad or Narcos show as far as depth, high stakes, and no true good guys. Dude, that scene, again, spoiler stuff, sorry if anybody's listening to this. That scene where he has to gun down his what he thought was his buddy. I can't remember the guy's name, but you know, the guy that tried to get him to betray everybody and supposedly run off to this moon where they were supposed to, like, oh, you know, and he like guns that guy down. That was freaking awesome. That was such a Han Solo moment. That was like, dude, I like this character and I like the way they're telling this story. And yeah, it's you know, Rogue One was the Dirty Dozen, right? Rogue One was this bold experiment to see if this could be done in Star Wars, and you got a lot of strong opinions about that movie. And this is sort of picking up where that left off and then taking it to the next level. So it's really good. Ryan says, I loved how Andor got popped just by acting shifty instead of getting caught. Yeah, that was so strange. Like, yeah, he got thrown into, like, out of nowhere, thrown into jail, and they pull this, like, what I love about the writing on this show is they have all these moments where you think something's going to happen for, like, the fan service stuff when they showed up with the robot, and you think, oh, it's going to be the robot from Rogue One, and then it's not. It's not the robot. And you're like, you're just reminding us about that and playing with us a little bit. Oh, looky here. Hell yeah. What kind of strange apparatus is this? Hey, you like my guns? You like my, they call me the tripod, you know what I'm saying? Hey, ladies. How's it going? Whoa, look at that thing. Man. What is that thing? Oh, crap. Okay. Rocket launcher. Yeah. Damn it. Pulse rifle in the 50-watt range, or whatever the fuck it says. I can't remember. Hey, just what you see here. Oh. What is this thing that's below me anyway? Below me. Below me. Die, monster! You don't belong in this world. No! Do not want! Damn it! Sorry, I'm missing the chat. Give me just a second. I'll get back to it. How dare you? Oh, that was close. Man, the animation is phenomenal. Like, I don't even understand how you animate stuff like this. Like, I get it. It's just talented people that know what they're doing, but good Lord. I find people that can do, like, really good artwork and animation to be, like, unbelievably talented. And really fascinating. I don't know how people do that kind of stuff. All right. That was cool. Sipod? Yeah, there you go. The tripod. The Sipod. Charlie says, say, Cyrus, would you be interested on revisiting NOM 1975? It was the video that first introduced me to your channel, and speaking about your memories of the game and where you grew up in Texas. Charlie, I would love to do that. I will absolutely do that. My next stream, I will stream NOM 1975, and I will even break out my joystick, my really cool joystick to do that, because I absolutely love that game. Thank you for bringing that up, Charlie. I appreciate that. Yeah, good idea. I got to play more NeoGeo games. I have yet to discover a NeoGeo game that I don't enjoy. I really like them. Even Riding Hero, even Riding Hero, which, you know, I don't know. You know, it wasn't as good as I hoped it would be, but it's not bad. It's a fun game, and it's got some really good like RPG like elements to it. But maybe it's just that I suck at it. Maybe that's what the problem is. Because I do suck at video games, especially Riding Hero. But yeah, I have yet to discover a NeoGeo game that I don't like. You know, it's actually kind of easier to control this with the analog stick on my PS5. Because I can kind of angle a little bit when I shoot. I think that's why it would be probably, I know it's going to sound kind of weird, but I think it might actually be easier to play this game with that joystick than with my controller. It's Neo Geo. It's supposed to be played with a joystick. Ooh, we got a little slowdown. That's, I believe, hardware accurate slowdown, by the way. Because there was some slowdown in some of these games. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. As far as this game's concerned, I don't know. No, thank you. That little boat that was down there reminds me of this G.I. Joe vehicle I used to have when I was a kid. Man, they had some badass G.I. Joe vehicles. I don't know if you guys ever had those kind of toys when you were growing up, but... Oh, look at the slowdown. My gosh. So much slowdown. All of this slowdown. Hang on, Charlie. I'll catch up on that. Let's continue. Alright, let me catch up on that real quick. Sorry. Awesome, bro. I remember you were explaining about where you grew up in 1990, playing a town near San Angelo, Texas, with NOM 1975. And how it made you above sense. Yeah, it was actually Brownwood. San Angelo, it's interesting you remember that. Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, we had two big towns close to where I grew up. San Angelo was the bigger city, which is not a huge city, but it was big for us because I'm from a small town. The other somewhat big town was Brownwood, and that's where the mall was, where I went and discovered NeoGeo for the first time. And yes, NOM 1975 was on the unit that we first saw NeoGeo on. And I will try to save some of that talk for when I do that stream, because there's a lot to talk about with all that. You remember, Charlie. What a great experience, man. That first taste of NeoGeo. You know, never seen anything like that. 4 games on one, or maybe it was 3 on that one. It was either 3 or 4 on that unit. I have to remember. And unbelievable stuff. Let me see if I can remember exactly what was on it. I know it was Nom 1975. And another one that was on there was Blues Journey. I remember that. Magician Lord was another one that was on that. So I know those three were on that. I think there was four. I think there was one more. And I'm trying to remember what that fourth one was. Damn. So, Nom 1975, Blues Journey, Magician Lord, and I think it was King of Monsters, if I remember. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think it was King of Monsters. They had a Riding Hero game, but it was, if I remember correctly, Riding Hero was on like a motorcycle setup. It actually wasn't on a stand-up arcade like the regular NeoGeo stuff. It was on like a little motorcycle, if I remember correctly. So yeah, love the 16-bit jazz music, dude. It's pretty good, right? NeoGeo could do some badass music. Charlie Kids' right side. It was a great video listening in on your memories. That was one of the best ever. Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Was it Top Players Golf? Man, I don't think so. I don't think so, because I didn't see a Neo Geo golf game for a long time. I didn't see one of those until later. I actually saw the first Neo Geo golf game that I ever saw was on another completely separate, like, stand-up thing that was like, it had like, you could actually... It was like a golf simulator almost, or something like that. Ninja Combat. That's what it was, Charlie. Thank you, sir. You're 100% correct. It was Ninja Combat. Ah, thank you. That's why I got Ninja Combat when I first got my AES. You are absolutely correct. How did I forget that? So, yeah. Okay, so it was Nom 1975, Ninja Combat, Blues Journey, and Magician Lord. That is correct. Thank you. You are 100% right about that. God, I'm getting old. I'm getting the old. So is this, I don't know how well this is coming across in the stream, but is this too much like frame skipping or slowdown happening here? Is this like an emulator thing, or is this what it really did on the real system? Because I never played this on the real system. You're welcome, Cyrus. Masterminds working together. There you go. Yep. Thank you, sir. Oh, look at that. Look at that smoke coming out of there. That's cool looking. The train. So much detail, man. It's just so much detail. Okay, it looks good. That's good. Oh, damn it. Maybe I can let this thing roll and hit somebody. No? Ah, damn it. Ran right into that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. True Lies. Remember that movie, True Lies? Have you ever killed anyone? Yeah, but they were all bad. That's a badass movie if you've never seen True Lies. Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger made some badass movies. Ooh, interesting. Interestingly, it was Metal Slug that helped revive NeoGeo in the mid-90s when 3D consoles and games were in full swing. The NeoGeo was in a slump, and that's when Metal Slug was introduced. Well, obviously they were trying to. They knew what was on the line because they pulled out all the stops for this crap. I mean, this game's seriously badass. Just the level of detail, the color usage, the music, the sound effects, everything. Top-notch stuff, man. That's why people love these Metal Slug games so much, because they really, it's just like throwing everything at the wall. You know, it's like, yeah, we get it. We got to put our everything we have into this, and they did. All right, back to it. On with the destruction. I forgot I have rockets. Missile. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, boy, look at that thing. Those look like crab legs. Huh? Huh? Damn it. The company that originally made Metal Slug developed Neo Turf Masters. There you go. Oh. It's kind of funny when you look at like the early NeoGeo games, like we were talking about, some of the games like Magician Lord or Blues Journey or Ninja Combat, some of those types of games. And it's interesting if you compare the graphics for those games with some of these later release NeoGeo games, just how much they learned over time about how to use the hardware and you know what its capabilities really were. Because not that those early games are, you know, look bad or anything, but there's definitely a progression. You know, there's a huge amount of improvement over time that took place. It's just really fascinating. The same hardware without any kind of additional chips or anything. You know, it's just amazing what was able to be accomplished later on.
Mission complete.
Yeah.
Mission 4. Start.
What's going on in the background here? This kid and this guy. This kid got in trouble or something. That's funny. Damn, snakes. Oh, those are good. I was like, what's going on? Oh, look at this little chick following me around. Yeah, you know, they call me the chick magnet. You know what I'm saying? Wow, look at me. I got huge and fat. Just like in real life. Oh, come on. There we go. Thought I screwed up for a second there. More than usual, you know. Come on down here, dude. Oh, okay, here we go. Damn it! Yeah! Damn it! Thank God for unlimited continues. Yeah, I'm just looking at the detail here. You know what I'm saying? Like the fence going off in the back and then coming up in the foreground there. It's just really cool. Plane. Oh yeah, now we're in the tank. It's not Metal Slug until you get the tank. Then it's Metal Slug. Hey Charlie, I don't know if you're still here. If you are, maybe you can answer this question. In the Hunt, the game In the Hunt, is that a NeoGeo game? I'm trying to remember. And if it is it made by the same people that made this? And if it is it part of the same universe? I'm very curious. Like I remember playing the hell out of In the Hunt, and it seemed like it was the same type of graphics and everything. So I just really have never looked into that too much. But was that a NeoGeo game? Maybe you guys know. Damn, those explosions are awesome looking. I get so distracted just looking at all the cool stuff. I get excited about stupid stuff that most people don't in video games. Like, example, I'll tell you, the shading on the sky. The different colors of the sky right here. You know, for that time period, that was a pretty big deal. I get excited about stupid stuff, sorry. Brian says, okay, then I want some snakes, and when you shoot them, they turn into chicks. Just do it. That's right. No excuses. Make it happen. Which actually, if you kind of think about that, snakes that turn into chickens is sort of that's sort of it could be interpreted as sort of a reference to the evolution of the dinosaurs, because they do believe that a lot of the dinosaurs that survived actually became birds. So the chicken is a descendant of the dinosaurs, I mean, according to what some people think. So maybe the snake turning into the chicken is some sort of a actual, like a deep dive, dark web. I don't know. I'm struggling here trying to come up with something. You know what I'm saying. All right, hang on a second. Hang on. You've cracked the code. That's right. Ha! We did it on Metal Slug Anthology in the middle of the night on a PS5 stream. We figured it out. You're welcome, science. You're welcome. Damn it. Ah! How dare you kill me? Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Ah, yeah! Hell yeah! Vaya con Dios. All right.
Complete.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mission 5.
Okay, let me catch up on the chat one more time. Charlie says, sadly, no. In the Hunt was created by former IREM employees that would later go on to found Nazca Corporation, the creators of the Metal Slug series. Oh, that's why the similar gameplay. That's fascinating. So this came after In the Hunt. For some reason, I thought In the Hunt was derived from this, and it's the other way around. Well, that's interesting, because I remember playing In the Hunt when I was in college. They had it in our student center, where, you know, like, we had this big cafeteria, and then there was a upstairs where it was like they had like a lounge area with a pool table and a bunch of arcade games and stuff. People could go hang out, and tables and stuff. You know, people want to do homework, I guess. Whatever, homework. But I remember they had In the Hunt up there, and they had it set up to where you didn't have to pay anything. You could just play it. And I played the crap out of it. That was in 96 or 96 and 97. Yeah, fire looks great in this game. They did an amazing job with all the visuals in this game. And look at just the subtle little animations, you know, like when you shoot the car, see how it like moves? All the different sides of it move. That's an insane amount of detail. That's not necessary. Little teddy bear. There's so much that's not necessary in this game they didn't have to do for it to still be like really, really badass. But they did it anyway, you know? It's just very impressive. Never became available for NeoGeo, yeah. Yeah, they definitely went the extra mile. For sure, for sure. Oh, really? It came out in 93. In the Hunt came out in 1993. Metal Slug was available in 96. That's very interesting. There's nobody piloting that helicopter, is there? Maybe it was a drone. Maybe it was a giant drone. I think this is before they had drones like that, but you know. Get to the choppers. Oh, look at the city in the background. Man, see what I mean? You're right. They went the extra mile, Ryan. You are right. It's not even necessary to do that kind of stuff. It's just really cool. Ooh, laser. Nice. Still looks like a shotgun, but it's a laser. Ooh, they learned. They finally gotten wise to my shooting capabilities. Ah, damn it. I like this music. It's very tense. Ah. Yeah, get some. Who wants some? Oh, okay, we got train coming in. Oh, look at that. Look how they make it look almost like 3D. I'm sitting there staring at the train. I couldn't kill it. It was too beautiful. It was too pretty. I couldn't kill the thing I loved. I would never survive the zombie apocalypse for that reason. No, my cats have become zombies. I have to kill my cats. No, I don't think I could. I think I would become a zombie. Me and my cats, all zombies. Ah. Damn it. Although it is difficult to kill a helicopter with a pistol. You gotta give her credit for trying. There we go, that's more like it. Okay, hang on. Let me catch up again. I keep getting so far behind on the shit. Okay, I didn't miss much. You heard of Elon Musk? Oh yeah, about him buying the Twitter twatter. Yeah, you know what? I know a lot of people have all these opinions about Elon Musk and Twitter, and there's all this politics that's involved in things. I didn't even realize that Elon Musk was like some kind of political hot potato topic, you know? I always thought, when I had heard about Elon Musk, I was always like, oh yeah, that rich guy who is doing SpaceX and is helping out, you know, NASA and doing all this stuff, and seems like a really smart dude. But I guess it's more than that. I guess there's all this other politics going on with all this stuff. And I guess that's what's going on with Twitter, is he's trying to make Twitter a different kind of thing or something. I don't know. I'm the last person. Oh, look, you blow up each section of the train. What the hell? How much detail could there be in this game? This is ridiculous. Die, train. How dare you? No, do not want. Oh well. All right, let me continue. Hang on, I'm sorry, I can't keep up. Yep, I joked that Twitter's about to turn into 2007 COD lobby. I don't know much about it either, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get involved in all the weird back and forths that everybody's in. I try not to. Holy crap, I do get involved, but I really try not to, and I still do. I don't know. It's so strange. Charlie says, say, Cyrus, did you ever see any news of the NeoGeo AS units in video game stores in the 1990s? Oh, did I ever see any? That's a very good question. No, I didn't. I never one time ever saw a NeoGeo AES out in the wild ever. I think the first time that I ever saw one physically was when I bought one, was when I got that one from Japan. Then I did that unboxing video you're talking about. I can't remember ever seeing one physically before that. I know I never saw one at Toys R Us, and that was the best shot that I had to see one. They didn't carry NeoGeo at... Even when I went to college and I was able to go to Walden Software and Babbage's, they didn't have NeoGeo there. They didn't have anything NeoGeo there. So the best chance I had to see it was probably Toys R Us, and I never saw one there either. So, God, yeah, it was just really hard to find. I don't even know where you could get a NeoGeo, because the only places that I ever knew about that sold them back in the old days was those ads in the back of magazines where it was like Play It Again games or Game Dude or Funko, places like that would sell used games, and they had everything. They would even have like imports and stuff like that, and they sold NeoGeo. But man, no, I don't think I ever saw one out in the wild ever. Ryan says, no politics. I just honestly hope that all good people can live a good, long life. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Yeah, politics is just another distraction, another thing to argue about. And I don't want to do it. I'd rather spend my time doing anything else. I don't enjoy arguing. I don't. I know there's a lot of people that do, but I don't. I'm not an arguer. Oh, listen to that music. I don't know how well you can hear that. That's nice. It's very spooky. Very ominous. I'm going to turn that audio up just a little bit so you can listen to that with me for a second. Wow, that's like Resident Evil. Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, Albert Wesker, Barry Burton, Resident Evil. Maybe you can do it, Jill. You're the master of unlocking things. Chris, take care. Ryan says, I don't like arguing either. I probably did when I was younger, but I liked a lot of dumb things that were bad for me. Yeah. I'm not trying to judge people. People like what they like, and, it is what it is. I just personally find it to be a waste of my time. Charlie says, gotcha, Cyrus. How about this? Did you ever know anybody growing up who owned a did I ever know anybody that owned a NeoGeo AES growing up? The answer to that is an unequivocal no. I knew a lot of kids who literally lusted after the NeoGeo. Like, we would just stare at the magazine ads like they were, Playboy centerfolds. We would look at NeoGeo with envious eyes, like the Martians. We were very much in love with NeoGeo and fascinated by it. It was so ridiculously expensive, and you couldn't find them anywhere, even if you wanted to get one, like I said. It was just this mythical golden diamond unicorn, that lived in the misty mountains of, faraway Narnia. It was this. It was a legend. It was a myth, but it was very fascinating. And I remember they kept putting these things in the magazines where it was like a sweepstakes giveaway, where they would give away all the best whatever crap there was for the day and age, whatever. And it was like, if you enter this, you could have a chance to win whatever. And they would always have some really badass stereo system, some really cool big screen TV, those old projection big screen TVs. It was all the best stuff, a laser disc player, and every single time those sweepstakes ads that were in the game magazines, there'd be the NeoGeo. There would be the NeoGeo AES Gold with its 2 joysticks and, stack of games they were going to give you. And we would all think about, man, and I remember friends entering that contest trying to win that NeoGeo, and nobody I ever knew had one. I never saw one. I never knew about anybody having one. It was just ridiculously badass. It was, like I said, it was a legend to us kids. And yeah, you're right, Ryan, it was extremely expensive. It was ridiculously expensive. I wish we could have rented one. It would have been so cool to rent one, but none of the places that I lived had, none of the video stores rented out NeoGeos. I know that was something that happened, but it didn't happen anywhere where I lived. I would have died if I could have rented a NeoGeo, because I would have done it for sure, and I would have played that fucking thing all day and all night until I had to take it back. I would have loved that. Ryan says Coke dealers had Laserdiscs and NeoGeos. That's right. That's right, dude. That's right. Once upon a time, man. What's with these arrows pointing down? Those are creepy looking dudes. Oh, wow. They actually explode when you kill them. Ugh. Damn it! Oh, hang on. Charlie's asking me something else. Interesting story, Cyrus. How about this? What were your thoughts on the Panasonic 3DO back in 1993? Yeah, so the 3DO was like as expensive as a NeoGeo. It was at that price where it was so expensive that you just couldn't really get it or think about getting it. But the difference with the 3DO was um, it was when it first came out, it was so confusing because there weren't very many games for it, and the ones that were coming out for it were like, it was like PC games, and it was stuff that I didn't quite get. And I was like, man, I don't think that's worth the money. But of course, at the time, I was also already anticipating the Atari Jaguar. And I was going to get a Jaguar. I was sold on the idea of getting a Jaguar as soon as I found out about that. The 3DO was just so expensive. It was weird. What was interesting about the 3DO was I remember them running stories on the 3DO on CNN, on the news. Because I remember seeing them do a segment on the Need for Speed for NeoGeo. And I looked at those graphics, and I didn't really understand what I was looking at because I thought the graphics were, I didn't think it was really real-time polygons. I thought what I was looking at was full motion video, because they showed this scene where the car you're driving like tumbles over when it wrecks, and I was like, yeah, that looks okay, because I thought it was like just like full motion video. I didn't think it was like actual polygons. I didn't realize what the 3DO was capable of doing. So I actually was not that impressed with the 3DO. And I was just kind of like, it's so expensive and I don't think it's that great. But of course, like I said, I was really fanboying out over the Jaguar at that point. So 3DO was really never on my radar. I will say, when I went to, in late 95 and early 96, I worked at Walmart, and I worked in the electronics department, and we had 3DOs. We had FC1s and FC10s, and we also had a bunch of 3DO games. And I can remember really looking at those, and by that point they had like Super Street Fighter 2 and stuff. And of course by that point the PlayStation was, a thing. So I was not going to get a 3DO, but I can remember looking at it thinking, wow, this thing is still ridiculously expensive, but it's pretty cool looking, and I was interested in it. I was never going to buy it back then, but by that point I did look at some of the games and some of the stuff, and I thought it looked pretty interesting. But I never was even going to get a 3DO until my buddy John, Retro Bro, he was talking to me about 3DO and really got me interested in it, and I started looking into it. I mean, this is obviously just a couple years ago, and then I ended up buying a 3DO, and I really like the 3DO. But of course, this is coming from somebody who is appreciating it as a retro console, and it's actually sort of like a consoleized PC from that era. So it's pretty fascinating. Plus, I can burn all the games, and I don't have to actually buy the games. If I had to buy the games for 3DO, I would find it a hell of a lot less interesting. But since I can actually burn the games and just play them, I have a blast with my 3DO. I think it's really fun. Now here's the thing though. It was at that same price point as the NeoGeo AES. And the NeoGeo CD was way cheaper, right? The NeoGeo CD was pretty damn cool. One of these days I'm going to buy a NeoGeo CD, Charlie. I'm going to get one because I would like to have one. I know the load times are bad. I'm fine with that because I can burn the games for that too. And that's why I will eventually get a NeoGeo CD because I do want to get one. But so the 3DO is at that same price point as what the NeoGeo AES was. But I would say this, if I had that money and I was going to buy a game console, I definitely would have bought the AES before I got a 3DO. Definitely. Because it was just so much more compelling to me, so much more interesting to me. Let me catch up on the chat one more time. there was only ever one game on a 3DO that I considered a killer app, a version of Street Fighter. Yeah, that Street Fighter is really good. The controller I have for my 3DO is a 5-button controller. It has the 3 on the front and then the 2 shoulder buttons, and you can actually play that game really well with that controller. It's a really good version of Street Fighter. I had Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo for PC. My dad bought it for me back then. I had that version, and the 3DO version is not the same. I thought the 3DO version was the same as that PC version. That's a DOS version of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the computer, which is a pretty damn good version. The music is really good on that PC one because it uses the Redbook audio. The 3DO is also Redbook audio, but it's different music. I thought it was the same music. It's not. So that 3DO version is very unique. It is just the 3DO version that's like that. When they did the CD versions of Super Street Fighter and all that for like PlayStation and Saturn, that's also different. So it's very interesting stuff. It's a good version of Street Fighter. Saturn came out and wiped the floor with it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The Saturn version of any of those fighting, I mean, come on, the Saturn is still like the best. I mean, I'm just gonna say this: if you want to play awesome 2D fighting games on a CRT TV, buy a Sega Saturn. There's not a better experience. There's really not. Because the Saturn controller, the Saturn hardware, the picture that thing puts out, and the quality of the games themselves is unmatched. There is nothing better than that. The Sega Saturn is a beast for 2D fighting games. For a lot of different games, but especially for that. It has a good version of Road Rash. Oh, the version of Road Rash for 3DO is actually the best version, believe it or not. There's a really good breakdown on YouTube you can look at where somebody has done like an in-depth analysis of the 3DO version, the PC version, the PlayStation version, and the Sega Saturn version of Road Rash. And I agree with their conclusion. And, there's a bunch of details they go through. And their conclusion is the 3DO version of Road Rash is the best version. I think that's true. It actually is really good. Brian says, I think I got my Sega Genesis in '90, so I stuck with that for a few years. Yeah, the Genesis, man. My brother was there. We were there at the beginning because my cousin got a Genesis before we got one. We had a Genesis before anybody was buying Genesis. Like, I was talking to my buddies about the Genesis, and they were like, Sega, whatever, because they were all Nintendo, and that was it. And then it was interesting later to see these same friends have Genesis consoles. And I was like, oh, looks like you got a Sega Genesis. They're like, oh, yeah, it's the best sports games. I'm like, okay. Well, they came around, Yeah, Genesis was amazing. It still is. Still is. Y'all get the Genesis 2, the Genesis Mini 2 is coming out pretty soon. Apparently, we should talk about that too. About the lady that did all the artwork for all those games and Phantasy Star games passing away. Nobody even realized she had passed away until they saw there was a credit. They did a tribute to her, and that's in the Genesis Mini, the new Genesis Mini. And that's really sad because Phantasy Stars, like, I have such a fond memories of all the Phantasy Star games, especially the first one and the fourth one. It's really sad. Anyway, sorry, kind of bringing things down there, but yeah. Let me see. These days, there's a few games I would be interested in today, but back then I would really be upset with it as a purchase since there's no way I'd be getting any other machine. Well, the problem with the NeoGeo, I can tell you this, was the damn cartridges were so expensive. They were just so expensive. Back then, especially, that's a lot of money, That's why the NeoGeo CD was such an interesting option. I'd like a NeoGeo CD as well. I think so. I would like to have one. Any place to actually have the DOS version of Street Fighter 2. There's two versions that I had, okay? I had Super Street Fighter 2, which came on discs, like floppy discs, and it came with a controller. And then I had Super Street Fighter 2, which came on a CD, and it came with a different controller. The 6-button controller that came with the disc version of just Super Street Fighter 2 had like the 6 buttons on the front of it, like a 6-button Genesis controller almost. I really like that controller. And the controller that came with the CD one, the Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, was more like a Super Nintendo controller. It had 4 buttons on the front and the 2 shoulder buttons. My dad kept that controller and never gave it to me, unfortunately. He was a big PC guy, and he bought that game and he wanted me to play it at his house, so he kept the controller. Little did he know I went and bought the other one so I could get that other controller. But anyway, it's interesting you said that. I never had the original Street Fighter 2 on the PC though, so yeah. Charlie says, amazing story. Thank you for sharing. Oh, absolutely, dude. I love talking about this crap. A lot of people don't like to listen to me talk because I know I can be boring. People tell me I put them to sleep all the time. But I do like to yak. Eating pace, as far as I'm concerned, with the controller, Capcom 6-button fighter has never been topped. I never owned that Capcom one that you're talking about. I'd be very curious to try that one these days. My favorite 6-button controller, see, my favorite controller for fighting games is the Model 2 Sega Saturn gamepad. That's my favorite D-pad controller to play fighting games. Now, as far as like 6-button controllers, so you're talking like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx. I guess you would include the NeoGeo controllers in that. And then the 6-button variants for other things. Like, there is a 6-button for the 3DO. I never had that one either. But I don't know what my favorite 6-button controller would be. I'd probably say the Sega Genesis one, but I don't know. It's a tough call. But I never owned. There's a lot that I never owned. Charlie says, I got one, Cyrus. How about the Atari Lynx? What were your feelings towards it? Oh, man, I've talked about that before. We were going to get Atari Lynxes, me, my cousin, and my brother, and we were all hyped up and psyched about it. And then my cousin had actually bought a couple of Lynx games used from Game Dude, and so we had Lynx cartridges before we even had Lynxes. He bought Blue Lightning and Electro Cop. And then, I don't know what happened, he ended up buying a Game Gear instead of getting a Lynx. And showed up one day with his Game Gear and just gave me those Lynx cartridges. He's like, I'm not going to get a Lynx after all here. And me and my brother were like, what the fuck, dude? We were all going to get Lynxes. And I had actually gotten a game from my dad. My dad had sent me Ninja Gaiden. I think it was Ninja Gaiden. And I still had it in the box. And I didn't get a Lynx either because of that. I got a Game Gear. And I've never gotten a Lynx. And it's not that I don't want to get a Lynx. I want to get a Model 2 Lynx. I really do. I just haven't ever done it because I never found a good deal on one that I would want. And I never had the money at the time when I saw deals that seemed appealing. So I just have never gotten a Lynx. One of these days I'm going to get one because I do want one because it's pretty cool. I've played it on emulation and it seems like a really cool little handheld. But I think in the end, I have to say I'm probably glad we got Game Gears because I absolutely love the Game Gear. And I've had so much good memories playing the Game Gear. But yeah, never got a Lynx because of that. Actually, the Mini 2 just shipped. Oh, okay, it's on its way then. How about that? It's such a loss that she's gone. Yeah, it is. It sucks that she died and young. She wasn't that old. She was like 50 something years old. So much death lately, like so many people just dropping. It's just been that way ever since this, COVID thing happened. I don't know what killed her. I really don't know what she died of, but it's just been a lot of it, Eating Pace kind of crushing to me. Always wanted more of the first 4 games. Dude, I would have absolutely loved a legit Phantasy Star 5, God, like a full-on turn-based, regular HD Phantasy Star 5. That was always what I wanted. I was so disappointed when Phantasy Star for the Dreamcast turned out to not be what I wanted it to be. It was fine, but it wasn't what I was hoping it to be. Because I loved the Phantasy Star games, and, it sucks, man. It really does suck. I have a copy of the original Street Fighter 2 on disc. That 6-button controller comment was aimed at the Saturn. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, that the Saturn Model 2 D-pad controller, the one that you get with the Model 2 Saturn that was released in the United States. I think it was just because I have the Japanese gray Saturn, and then I have the Model 2 US Saturn. Both of those have the same style controllers. That controller is freaking badass. That's my favorite controller. Yeah, Japan Model 2 D-pad, yep. I've installed... Oh, what's up, Chris? How you doing? I didn't see you come in. Sorry, man. Chris says the NeoGeo CD plus the Neo SD loader is awesome. Cuts the load times in half and lets you change the language, region, of games. Chris, that's the way to go. I think what you just said is the ideal NeoGeo solution for playing NeoGeo games on a CRT. For me, I think that's what I want to do. What you just said. Get the NeoGeo CD and then pull the drive out and put in one of these, devices that simulates that, runs games off SD card. I think that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning as far as what I'll end up doing at some point. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Ryan says, I like the clunky 3-button Genesis controller. I don't know why they didn't use the same shape for the 6-button version. I think that for me personally, I've always felt like the 3-button Genesis controller, everything was a little too big. Like, that's just how I feel. I know a lot of people have different thoughts about this. A lot of people absolutely love that 3-button controller. And for nostalgic reasons, I do too. I think it's awesome. But I always felt like the D-pad was a little too big. The buttons were a little too big. The controller itself was just a little too big. That's just how I felt. So personally, I like the 6-button controller better. What I don't like about the 6-button controller on the Genesis is those top 3 buttons. For your 6-3 buttons, you have that top row and the bottom row. I don't like them being a different size. That has always been annoying to me. I would much rather those 3 buttons be the same size. And I get why they did that. Technically it kind of is helpful for you to figure out what buttons are what without looking at the controller, but I just don't like them being smaller. But so I don't really have like that's why the Genesis controllers are not going to be my favorite controllers, because there's just some little things about them I don't really like. But the Saturn, on the other hand, the Saturn controllers, I absolutely love those controllers. It's the Model 2 ones, not the Model 1. The Model 1, not very good. Anyway, yeah. Eating Paste. When I first played Phantasy Star Online on Dreamcast, I was furious with how different it was. I don't know that I was furious, but dude, I feel you, because it was very disappointing to me. Because I was like, I don't want to play online. I just want to play this story. I'm like, what is the story of this game? And yeah, I wasn't ready for that. And personally, I've never been into those types of RPGs. But yeah, I feel you. Charlie says, here's one, Cyrus. What did you think of the Turbo... Come on, Charlie. What do I think of the TurboGrafx 16? Charlie, how dare you ask me this question? You know. Okay, anyone that doesn't know, TurboGrafx 16 is my favorite video game console of any console ever. I own a TurboGrafx 16 with the CD and the Super System card, and I own a PC Engine Duo RX with the arcade system card. And both of those are unmodified because I don't want to do any modifications on mine. I just love them being original stock. And I don't need to own both of those, obviously. But I can't, I could never imagine parting with my TurboGrafx 16, even though I play everything on the Duo because it just runs better. There's no way I could give up my TurboGrafx 16 because it is emotionally my favorite. Is it the best console ever made? No, it's not. But it's my favorite. And, that's because it's just this console that was weird, that a lot of people didn't understand, and I've discovered on my own, and I fell in love with the games, and it was just so different and unique, but also weirdly similar to the NES in a lot of ways. And it just felt like I had this secret, that I figured this thing out that nobody knew about. I tried to share it with everyone that I could. I was obsessed with the TurboGrafx 16, and I still am. So, what do I think about it? Yeah, it's my favorite. That's why I constantly talk about it all the time. It doesn't take much to get me to talk for an hour and a half about nothing and just talk about the TurboGrafx 16. Yeah. Yes, I love that system very, very much. And by the way, the NeoGeo ports to the TurboGrafx 16 that are only on the PC Engine arcade system card, those ports of NeoGeo games, yes, World Heroes 2, Art of Fighting, what is it? Fatal Fury Special, Fatal Fury 2. Those are amazing ports of NeoGeo games for that console. And I did a video not too long ago where I talk about arcade system card games. If you go through my videos, you'll find it. And I show some footage for some of these fighting games, these NeoGeo ports. I'll have to do more videos about just those NeoGeo ports because holy crap, dude. Like, as far as 16-bit, you got to remember, PC Engine's really an 8-bit system. It's an 8-bit system running on 16-bit graphics. And for that to be able to do those NeoGeo games at the quality that they're able to do them, better than what was possible on the Super Nintendo or the Sega or the Sega CD, that's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. Because those ports are fantastic. They are really, really good. All right. Let's see. Eating Pace says, and I played like 800 to 1,000 hours of it online. Oh, you did? I never really played it very much. I tried to play Phantasy Star online, and I just didn't really get into it too much. But I wasn't really into, like I said, that kind of game that much. I did play it a little bit, just not very much. Chris says you can actually install it where the CD drive is still usable as well. That's a really good. I didn't know that. That's good to know. Well, that would be the way to go for sure. Then that would absolutely be the way to go. Because there's probably, and I don't know this for a fact, but I would suspect there's probably CD games that are going to have issues trying to run off of an ISO, off of what you're talking about, a CD drive emulator, that would probably run better off the disk. And the reason I say that is just because I know that if I run ISOs on emulators, whether it's TurboGrafx games or for different consoles that accept ISOs, sometimes there's issues with the loading or with certain things where you get little weird things, little tiny glitches or issues that you wouldn't expect. So there might be some games that you would want to run off of a CD. That's the only reason I'm saying that. So if there's a way to do that, that's ideal for sure. Absolutely. No problem, Charlie. No problem. Eating paste. I need the arcade card to play those games right. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Most TurboGrafx emulators that will play CD games can do the arcade card emulation. So you can do that with an emulator if it's a good one without really any issue. As long as you get that set up with the system cards and everything, you're not really going to have a problem with that. But if you want to play it on real hardware, then yeah, you're going to need the arcade card in order to do that. Yeah, if you have a Turbo Duo, so here's the thing, Eating Paste. The arcade system cards were only released in Japan. So, if you have an American Turbo Duo, in order to do this, you're going to have to convert those cards to work on the American hardware, because Japanese Hue cards are not natively supported on American TurboGrafx and Turbo Duo consoles. So, you're either going to have to get a Hue card adapter that adapts Hue cards into turbo chips. They look exactly the same, I understand. It's just the pins are wired differently. So it has to rearrange the pin information. You know what I'm trying to say? That's the only conversion that needs to take place. It's just the pins are out of order. So you either need to buy an adapter to do that, or you need to have the console itself modified to where it can support the Hue cards. There's a way to do that. I'm not the person to really tell you too much about that, but there is a way to do that. That's the issue with trying to play off of American hardware. If you have the Japanese hardware, you don't have to worry about that because you can just put in the arcade card. So there's two versions of the arcade card. There's the Arcade Pro and the Arcade Duo. And I have the Arcade Duo card because I use my arcade card in my PC Engine Duo RX. And it'll work in the regular PC Engine Duo or the Duo R or the Duo RX, either on any of those models. The Duo card will also work in the Super CD drive that you can buy for the PC Engine, because that has the 2 megabit of memory built in that's in the Duo. It's in that drive also. So if you have to do that, then you'll use the Duo card. But if you're gonna try to run these games off of an old school PC Engine with the suitcase style apparatus with the CD drive, then you need the Arcade Pro card. Now, the reason that's relevant if you're playing on American hardware, because if you're going to play on a TurboGrafx CD, that's going to require the Arcade Card Pro with an adapter to adapt that to the American system. And if you're going to play on the American Turbo Duo, then you need the Arcade Card Duo, and you still need that adapter. So I know that's really confusing, but that's what that breaks down to. You have a Japanese Duo? Okay, good. That makes that a lot easier. So you just need the Arcade Card Duo then. So that's good. It's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. That's what I have. You have a Duo R. Very good. That's a great system. That's, the Duo R and the RX are the two most reliable of all the TurboGrafx systems. So that's really good. What do I think of ColecoVision? I never owned a ColecoVision, Charlie. I didn't know much about it when it was out. I didn't know much about it, really. I had heard about it a little bit, but I didn't know anybody that had a ColecoVision, and I kind of just thought of it as like a knockoff. I didn't think of it as like a real, like, to me, I thought, what is that? ColecoVision. I was like, we had Intellivision when I grew up, and then we had Atari, and then we got Nintendo later. And that was what I knew. And Coleco was this other thing, and I never saw commercials for it. I didn't know much about it, so I've never owned a ColecoVision. I've only played it through emulation. It seems like it might be fun. I know a lot of people love that system, but I never knew much about it. So this Metal Slug on PS4, very interesting. Yeah, it's the PlayStation 2 compilation of Metal Slug games that was re-released for PlayStation 4, and I'm running it on PS5. It's actually better than the PS2 version, though, because this runs in progressive scan. And the emulation's really good. They don't do any bilinear filtering. You have some options for your video to have it like integer scaled, which is what this is, or you can have it stretched to where it goes to the full top and bottom of the screen, which is pretty good. Quite a bit of additional content. All the soundtracks for all the games, art gallery you can unlock. It's quite a bit of stuff here. Metal Slug 1, 2, X, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So quite a few Metal Slug games in this. It's definitely worth it if you're thinking about buying this, and you can, especially if you find it on sale. So yeah. Cyrus, can you please repeat everything you just said? No, good God, no. I repeat myself enough as it is. Calmarsh, poor guy here, can't afford PS5, just got a PS4. Well, this game runs fantastic on a PS4. You don't have to play this on PS5. It's a PS4 game, so yeah, definitely you can play it on that, no problems. Honestly, the PS4 library is way better at the moment. Anyway, PS5 is a luxury. Absolutely. PS5, they're starting to get some stuff going, It's a lot better than it was when it launched. But yeah, PS4 is going to be the bread and butter for quite a while. Okay, I'll play a little bit more, guys, and then we'll wrap up pretty soon. Sorry, I was talking for so long there. I get caught up in talking. Oh, did I turn that music up? Yeah, let me... No, it's back down. Okay, good. Never mind. Damn it. See, that looks like something straight out of In the Hunt right there. Man, look at the colors on that. The detail in the graphics. That's crazy. Oh, look how that animates when that turret turns. That is amazing. Ah, damn it. Ah. Oh, you and your electricity crap. Whatever the hell that is. Crap. Boom, shakalaka. And the Hunt and Metal Slug share the same. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, actually. Yeah. Carl says, I know lately GameStop barely has any games on the shelf. Yeah, I'm hearing some bad things about GameStop, man. I think the end is near. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I'm hearing that this thing's about to come to an end. I don't think that store is going to be around another year. I really don't. Oh, look, I froze into... That's a lot of slowdown. Is that console accurate slowdown? Is that like that on the real thing? Seems like a lot of slowdown. This is Metal Slug 2 I'm playing, by the way. Crap. Wow, look at that. Look at the detail on that animation happening right there. That's crazy. Damn it. Look at the gun that dude's got. Holy crap. Oh, Shamu ate him. I always wondered what happened to Shamu. Hell yeah. Good job. Can I pick up that gun? Oh, hell yeah. That was just like the scene from Free Willy, but with a little more violence. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me catch up again. Yeah, I can't seem to find any PS4 games lately that have been trying to find Samurai Showdown and Creed Rumble Boxing. No luck locally. Nothing like the old shooter up. Well, they do have. You can on the if you don't want to get them physically anyway on PlayStation Store, you can download tons of NeoGeo games. That's where I have most of mine. You can get Samurai Showdown on there. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually even 6, which is not technically a NeoGeo game, but it's still, it's a PS2 game, but it's sort of a NeoGeo game. It's the same style and everything, just a little bit more because it's a PS2 game. But you can get those digitally off the store. So yeah, there's tons of really good NeoGeo games you can get that way if you don't mind getting them digitally anyway. Oh yeah. Well, sorry about that, man. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough if you live in a spot where you don't really have that good a connection. Damn it. Now this is actually a game you can buy physically, though, I think. This anthology. Oh, the aliens are everywhere here. Wow, that's that's gross. That's a lot. Look at the animation when you kill those guys. That's crazy. Oh, you got divorced? I'm sorry, man. I know what that's like. How do these things right here work, these boxes? I keep seeing these and I don't know what I'm doing with them. I don't know how to use them. Oh, wait. Like that. Okay. Okay, cool. I never knew how to use that. Come on, I'm here, do it. What the hell are you? You're one ugly mother effer. Yeah. I. You kill my mother, you kill my father, you kill my people. Charlie, thanks for hanging out with me, dude. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Anybody that has to go, I definitely understand. I'm not going to keep going for very much longer. Sorry, I missed that earlier when you were saying that. Yeah, eating paste. Yeah, dude, Carl, thanks for being here. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to keep playing for just a little bit longer, then I'm going to wrap this up. So, Ryan, thanks for being here, as always. Chris, thank you. There's a lot of people that were here. I know Albert was here earlier. Hopefully everything's cool with us now. Appreciate hanging out with you, Albert. Lil BF, I'm not going to go say that name. Thanks for being here. We had pretty good conversations tonight, I think. Yeah, I'll keep playing for a little bit longer. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Ryan. This is your bonus content at the end of the stream. Bonus! Bonus! That's another NeoGeo game. It constantly says, bonus! Bonus! I think that's Blazing Star, if I remember correctly, that always does that. There are some really good shoot-'em-ups on this system. People don't really remember the NeoGeo for its shmups, but there are some fantastic ones on the console. Absolutely. Oh boy, here we go. That is cool looking. Look what they did with that laser to make it look like it's translucent, you know? It's like distorting the background as it... and man, just the animation. That's crazy. Look at the fire in the background if you get a chance. I don't really notice it that much when you're playing. The clouds and everything, just the shading is ridiculous. The animation on all these little aliens. Look at the background. They got those fighter planes fighting the aliens. God, that's cool. Come on, man. Get up there. Oh, yeah, son. Get some. All day, every day. Oh no. Our true enemy has yet to reveal himself. Or is that what's happening right now? Yeah. Time for the real battle. Oh, they're actually fighting with me. Damn it. Ooh, a tank. Damn it. Damn you, Mars. Back to the red planet with you. Did that guy just pull a Independence Day where he flew into the laser? I think that's what just happened. This game would cost me $7.98 quarters. Dude, you ain't lying. You are not lying. But I can imagine, I mean, that's a lot of money. If it costs that much money to beat this game, that would probably be too much. But I could definitely see spending quite a bit of money on this game and feeling good about it. Although, I'm much happier to have not spent all that money. That's a pretty cool effect right there on the NeoGeo. I don't know if that's... They do these effects on this console sometimes. Oh, I forgot to enter my name. I was looking at the background. I do that. I'm so easily distracted. They do these effects on this console where you're not sure how they pull it off. Like, because some of the stuff they do looks like it's a visual, like a raster effect or something. And it's actually like animation. It's like basically like full motion video. Because like the NeoGeo is such a weird console. Like literally all the graphics on this console are sprites. Like everything that happens is sprites. It's not like a normal video game console. You know, so they do these animations, and you'll see it in the shoot 'em ups, especially like Blazing Star and games like that, where they're doing stuff that just looks like crazy 3D stuff, but it's just animated like sprite backgrounds, or maybe not even necessarily what you consider like a background, just like a sprite on the screen. So that effect we just saw a second ago, and this one right here, also, I don't know. I'd be very interested to know how they pull off some of this stuff. Because you look at some of the effects and they look like they could be scaling effects, you know? And maybe they are, but maybe they aren't. I don't know. The NeoGeo has built-in scaling and rotation, though. So, I don't know. Not sure. Ryan says, I wish there was more documentaries made with behind-the-scenes footage from a lot of these older games. No kidding, man. There just wasn't the, you know... Back in these days, video games were not the popular, you know, thing that they are now. They weren't like widely accepted as like an artistic medium, and they weren't viewed as being mainstream. Mainstream is what I'm kind of thinking. So, yeah, there wasn't this thinking that... Plus, it was a new thing. You know, video games hadn't been around that long. It took a while before people figured out this was a thing, you know, that wasn't just going to be like a fad or something like that. Oh, this game came out in 98. Okay. That's interesting. So yeah, man, there just wasn't a lot of documentation of a lot of stuff at the time. You know, there were interviews with like developers and with creators and behind the scenes type stuff. There was some of that, but not nearly as much as there should have been. Definitely, there, and to this day, I think there's probably not as much of that as there should be. So that's an interesting thing to say. Now that I'm really thinking about it, there probably needs to be more of that. I think you could do entire, documentary series on all the games that come out every year. Every year the big games that come out. Wouldn't that be cool? Is if there was like a series where they had an episode for, or it was just an entire season of episodes where they followed the development of different games. That'd be really cool, but, I don't know. So, yeah, good thoughts there, Ryan. Good thoughts. Okay, so I have streamed for quite a while. It is super late. It's almost 4 o'clock here, and I should have already been asleep a long time ago, but I was having a good time, and I got to talk a lot, and you know how much I love to hear myself talk, so I'm going to do that as long as I can if I'm having a good time doing it. But I'm going to wrap up now. So, Ryan, thanks for hanging out with me to the end. Everybody else that I mentioned earlier, I appreciate you being here. This has been loads of fun. Charlie was asking me to revisit NOM 1975, so that will be coming up soon. That will be the next stream that I do, NOM 1975. And we'll go from there. So, Ryan, everybody else, y'all have a good night or good morning or whatever. I'm going to go try to get a little sleep, and I will catch you next time. So, y'all take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.